It's a very hard place to come from when you're wondering where you'll sleep that night. It's hard to have any pride. It's hard to have any belief in yourself and to even begin to consider fulfilling your potential when you just have nowhere to live.
Life before Nicholas Square, it was kind of challenging for me because I didn't go to school a lot. I skipped a lot, and I moved around a lot. I didn't really like foster care because I was in it before when I was a younger kid, and I ran away a lot.
When you're out there homeless, or you haven't been in one spot for a long time, you're operating day by day. Where do I get this? How do I feed myself? Where am I going to stay tonight? How am I going to get my schoolwork done? Whatever it is.
The toughest thing was worrying about where you're going to lay your head to rest, what you're going to eat the next day,
I was chronically homeless. It came to one point where I just couldn't take it anymore. So I was me and my cousin were sitting there with a lot of hangers on, so to speak, around. And I looked at him and said, "Cousin, we gotta stop this, let's go." And we had several $100s worth of drugs on the table. I said, let's just go. Leave it there, let's go. They can all stay they can have the apartment, whatever, let's go. He said, "Oh no, you're just paranoid, man, sit down. It'll be okay in a minute." And I looked at him, I looked at all the people around. I saw the drug dealers sitting on the couch. I saw a bunch of women running around nude. I saw a guy sitting over in the corner with a shotgun, ready to stick up everybody else. So I just said, okay, that's it. Turned around and walked out. Just needed a rest. I was so tired. I was beat down to my wit's end. So I went back to the apartment. They were still doing the same thing. I quietly packed up all my stuff. Didn't anybody even notice it. They were too busy getting high and doing their own thing. I was free. I was back. I had control of myself and everything else. But the decision could be made in a snap.
When I was homeless as a child, as a teenager, that's when I was in parks, on park benches, and taken home by pedophiles and sexually assaulted. I left home at 16 because there was no home, really. My mother's alcoholism caused her to lose a lot of her employment, and our family was really economically unstable. I saw my chance to get out, so I did get my own apartment, and I lived on my own until I decided to go to the university at around the age of 19, and I gave my apartment up so that I would be on campus, close to my classes, and I could fully devote myself to my education. I was very focused and motivated and inspired to be the one person in my family who was able to overcome all of those obstacles and set an example. But my mental health did not agree with me, and it just came along and ruined my life. After my first year in college, I had a breakdown. I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't eating, and I was under a lot of duress and a lot of stress. And that's how I came to be homeless as a young adult. I was living on campus at the time. They just didn't feel that I was safe to return to campus. After losing my great shot in scholarships at the university and my home there and being rendered homeless again, I lived in group homes and shelters and slept on friends' couches. Just when I was beginning to get my life back in order and back into shape, I received an HIV diagnosis at the age of 23. At that point, I just wanted to give up on life. one of the first better turning points was finding my own apartment at the Lydia Apartments. It was a great nest. It was a nurturing place for me to regather my thoughts, to regather some of my spirit, and turn my life around.
What was helpful at Lydia for me was the support system there. I met some solid friends. Myself, John, Robert, and a few other people started up Sober Soldiers. That's another thing that kept us going. If it hadn't been for Lydia, none of this would have been possible.
I should be finished with my dual degrees in approximately 2 years. BS in occupational science, master's in occupational therapy. It's like a cycle, how I'm really going back and repairing my life and finishing up where I left off.
This was many years ago. I wrote down 21 things. And after I came here, they started coming to fruition when I was at Lydia. Before I left Lydia, 17 of those 21 things were accomplished. And they were simple things too. Like one of them, I wanted to get married again. So I met my wife at Lydia. I wanted to hug my daughter, tuck my daughter in once when she was 5 years old. I didn't see her again for a quarter of a century. Simple things like that. I wanted to have a bank account. I wanted to cook my own meal. You know, you'd be surprised how the little mundane things that everybody would see as normal, that's a right for every American, it's not. These are things that people take for granted.
We need affordable housing because of people like myself who are not throwaways, who are very intelligent people who have a great capacity to make contributions in their families, in their communities.
I still have friends there, and that, like I said, that core group of Sober Soldiers, everyone that's there is still sober. So the support system was excellent.
Just seeing when people have the chance to really just heal and decompress and get rooted, that they start to see their lives and their opportunities in a whole different way.
I want people to know that anything helps in the situation that we're in, and that any resources they can give, any help, any advice.
They gave us a chance. You know, they showed that we were more than just a statistic. We were an actual person. And that was very, very, very beneficial.
We must start working with more communities and provide more affordable housing. And with not a lot of strings attached. Just an opportunity to get into a safe building and a door that you can lock.
There's a good chance that I would be where I am today, close to finishing a graduate degree, engaged to a great guy, living a healthy, happy life a lot sooner if I just had some support and stability then.